Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville. Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 14, Saturday sunny with a high near 29, and Sunday sunny with a high around 45. Unleash your cravings at Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Dive into a world of flavor with their signature Philly steak, tantalizing turkey bacon avocado, and an array of mouth-watering options like crispy chicken and fish. Pair it perfectly with freshly fried fries or golden onion rings. Unforgettable sandwiches. That's Maverick's Real Roast Beef in Roseville. Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun, and it is Casual Friday. Everyone made it through the week, hopefully relatively unscathed. A few of us are crawling back from the brink of death here. It's been a very germy week over at AM 950, where pretty much everyone has pretty much been taken down, and we're all trying to claw our way back to some form of health. Speaking of which, over in Eden Prairie, we have Mr. Adam, who we missed you Wednesday. Adam, you were not doing so well.
Oh, I so wanted to be here Wednesday, but I really couldn't speak or talk for more than like 2 minutes without coughing and sneezing everywhere. I'm halfway human now, so that kind of works for tonight.
Well, and once again, I know I did this once before accidentally, and I have to apologize again. I did report your death on Wednesday prematurely, and I do apologize. I should have waited till the coroner report. So Adam is alive and well-ish, I guess. I don't want
the rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated.
we even ran a memorial episode of you, actually. So we're gonna have to delete that. But
my whole 3 clips, amazing.
Well, it filled up a commercial break, so we were able to get the show. Yes, absolutely. Well, welcome back gift for you is that the board that you're using is fixed.
It's
Kind
no
of.
longer limping along. It's got all of its appendages back. We have our channels 1 and 2 back, which is nice. We've been rocking pretty much on channel 3 for just a couple of months now, and hopefully many of our listeners haven't noticed. I think all of us in the production crew have done a heck of a job, and it's actually nice just to have the board that I helped install 20 some odd years ago back up and running.
Right. Well, one problem solved. 10,000 more to go. We're on track. We're going the right direction, Adam.
It's baby steps to the door.
It is. It's all good. It is Casual Friday here on GhostBox Radio, and that means anything you want to talk about, put it in the comments. We have stuff to talk about tonight, but be happy to include whatever else you want to talk about as well. And we have question of the week, which we're always very excited about. We'll probably get that more in the second segment, but we'll put it up there now. Let you think about it. If you hadn't answered earlier, question of the week: what psychic gift do you wish you could hone and focus on? So if you give that any thought, put it into the comments. If there's something you want to talk about, give us a call. But Adam, I want to tell you something.
Mm.
All right, here we go. A gentleman by the name of Tim Dennis sent me a note today, right?
Okay.
Tim Dennis of Darkness Radio.
The legendary broadcaster. Yes.
Who is over at was it Missouri Paracon going on right now? Some big thing that we're not at. And he just said, by the way, congratulations. And I'm like, on what? And he sends me this screen grab, and it says 34 GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. And I'm like, what is this? And what he told me is that Million Podcasts, it's the name of the site, millionpodcast.com, had the best 100 ghost hunting podcasts. And here's our list of top ghost hunting podcasts you can listen to or contact them for your outreach campaign. Find host, booking agents, and producers. Info for each podcast for collaboration. GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun is number 34 out of 100 on that list.
That's impressive.
Isn't that cool?
Good job, sir. Excellent.
Isn't that cool? I have to admit, when he sent that to me, I was a little, I don't want to use the word teary, but we all work so hard to do this, and so many other podcasts do as well, to get noticed I think, to be honest, getting noticed in anything in the paranormal field is damn near impossible. So to be number 34 out of 100, that Million Podcasts, they put their list together. Of course, number one are two Jim Harold podcasts, and you just can't touch him. But a little somebody known as Darkness Radio is number 3 with Tim Dennis. Nice. Yeah, that was really cool. That was really neat to see. And so I'm just, that was really kind. And it was really fun. Excuse me. It was really fun that he reached out to let me know that. And he was just sharing. He sent me photos of his table setup over at the convention. It's just, he has a lot of great stuff going on. So we got to get him back on and just have him talk. Quite frankly, none of us need to do anything. We can just let Tim talk, and it's going to be a fantastic thing. So
and we can do 2 hours after the show like we did last time, because I won't have anywhere to be but here in the morning.
Right, exactly. Well, and I purposely didn't tell you that until the show, because I wanted you to have something surprising for you.
But you know what? I think you giving me that information, because I unfortunately, as Greg mentioned at the top of the show, nobody around here has been feeling well. I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't hop on Facebook to see the question of the week. I know now the answer to my question of the week.
Oh, well, great. We'll start with you when we get to it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was really cool. So just appreciate all of you for listening to us and supporting us through the years. It's been 5 years. It's going to be 5 years in October since I started at AM 950. starting off as a weekend show, and then in July of 2023 becoming nightly. And then prior to 2020, since 2015, I'd been doing internet radio. I've been doing Para X radio and then KCOR out of Las Vegas. It's really cool. And, here's the thing, and I know a lot of people who do this sort of thing would say the same thing. This just doesn't get old. I never come in this room and be like, well, let's just get this over with. Every single time, I am so grateful. And Adam, because you were convalescing and recuperating, we had that conversation with Kedrick Olson on Wednesday. He was a segment late. There was just a little misunderstanding there, but when we got on, that was a great conversation about spiritual divergence and what ended up happening. I mean, he was so fired up afterwards. He's just like, when can I come back on again? It's like, well, we'll get it going in like April. And then the next day he sent me a note like, I'm just still thinking about this, and this was so great. So, we're doing something special here. I have no doubt about that. And it's just been fun to watch it grow, but also fun to bring on some really cool guests and really cool conversations. So
Absolutely. And unfortunately, our listeners don't get to hear a lot of the after show conversations. I mentioned, I wasn't exaggerating with 2 hours after the show, still talking with Tim Dennis. And we've done that with quite a few other guests. As soon as the light goes off, we're clear. The conversation just keeps going.
It's funny because next week I'm rerunning an episode of Scott Porter from the Tennessee Wraith Chasers talking about his show, Secrets of the Asylum. It's back from November of 2023. That's another one. And I sat where you're sitting right now doing the show. And then afterwards, the show ends at, 11 p.m. He started talking. I didn't get out of there till 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
It was incredible. It was so much fun, though.
And sometimes, I mean, and the show itself is always a blast, and then the after shows a lot of times is like, man, too bad we didn't even think about bringing that topic up, because it will go in some weird directions. But it's like, oh, you want to come back? And when they come back is usually when we talk about the weird direction that it went the time before.
Absolutely. So we talk about having really solid guests come on the show, and I've really prided myself to be very selective of who we bring on. That's why I work so far out. I was telling Adam that I am booked pretty much all through March with guests, and that's a lot of guests. But I want to announce a special episode of GhostBox Radio that's going to happen in March. And this is something that's been in the works for a long time, and I'm really excited about this. So on March 20th, which is a Thursday, which normally we do a replay, we're doing a live show, but it's a 2-hour live show. So it's going to start at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time and go to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, because we are going to have on, and I've been wanting to get him on for so long, we're going to have on Travis Walton. And Travis Walton, for those who don't know, if you've ever seen the film Fire in the Sky from 1993 about alien abduction out of Snowflake, Arizona, that's about him. And it's a very well-known case. And we're going to have him on, as well as the director of a documentary from 2015, Jennifer Stein. And the documentary is called Travis, The True Story of Travis Walton. And what's really exciting about this is that they are all extremely excited about joining us on March 20th. And she is going to bring video clips. We're gonna play stuff. So it's going to be on the radio as well, of course, but also it may make a lot of sense for you to join into the Facebook stream as well. And excuse me, just keep coughing, I guess. But it's very, very exciting. And the funny thing is, March 20th is actually National Alien Abduction Day. So it's really pretty incredible. Thank you to Jennifer Stein, who has been working with me to procure Travis Walton. It's been a dream for a number of years to bring him on. He's hard to get a hold of. And also want to thank my friend Chuck, who was able to crack the case for me because I kept having trouble trying to find them, and Chuck was thinking in different directions, and he got me Jennifer's information, and that's how it all. Once that happened, it all just flowed into place. It's very cool, and so this is what we call one of our special episodes. We call it GhostBox Radio After Dark, and it's going to be 9 to 11, March 20th, with Travis Walton and Jennifer Stein. It's Adam. I'm so excited for it.
I'm stoked. Okay, so when I was Fire in the Sky came out in the spring of '93, so I was 12. Saw that flick in theaters, and in reality, that movie really turned me into like a true believer, if you will, on aliens. Because then after that, I did the deep dive into the Time magazines and stuff that I could find of the Travis Walton story, and this is a gigantic get. I cannot wait until March 20th. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. They're excited. They're excited to be a part of this. And Travis's story is such a unique one. It's going to be a lot of, and we're going to, I'm going to double check with him. But my goal is hopefully that he's open to calls and comments. We'll double check on that though. We're not just like, hey, Travis, time to take some phone calls. He's like, what? But we'll get it figured out. But I can guarantee 2 hours of just incredible conversation. I just cannot wait. This is what it's all about, to be able to have these great opportunities to bring on some really amazing people and listen to their stories. This is what it's all about for me.
And the fact that we're getting this in the springtime, away from spooky season, shows you why we should be higher than 34.
Well, I'm just happy to be on any list at all. Quite frankly,
honestly, I am so thrilled and happy. But as soon as that sinks in, I don't know what I'm gonna do, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So so that's what we're doing. Once again, want to remind everyone this is Friday, therefore Casual Friday. That's why I don't have a speaking voice. It's just this kind of crackly thing going on here. Save my real voice for Monday, I guess. But we are going to we're going to take a break here in a second. I also want to remind everyone, if you have any questions, if you have any topics you want to talk about, put it into the comments, please. Would really appreciate it. But also, we're going to be talking about question of the week. What psychic gift do you wish you could hone and focus on? And when I read this every time, I think I'm misspelling home for some reason. Hone. What do you want to hone for a psychic gift? We have earlier in the day, we put it on Facebook. People answered, but we want to know your opinion too. Put it in the comments. Give us a call, 952-946-6205. 952-946-6205. You're listening to Casual Friday here at GhostBox Radio. We'll be back with more.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And it is Casual Friday here on GhostBox Radio. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had a great week. Adam and I, well, we were just kind of under the weather, weren't we? It just kind of trying to I guess live, I guess, really. I don't know.
Not just under it. I felt like Atlas left go and it just crushed me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're in rough shape. I mean, I hope you don't mind me saying so. I mean, it was.
Oh no, if they're listening or watching, you can tell.
No. And then when I called you earlier, it sounded like I was talking to gravel. No offense, but
I'm going for my Stevie Nicks.
Like, you know, like, what was that? Can I help you? And it's like, no. So I was going to do an emergency exorcism on you. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, it's all right. We don't have a camera crew.
And a la Zach Bagans, you know,
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
break the glass and get the holy water out. So yeah. So before we get to question of the week, I do want to ask people, as I'm so stuffed up. My God. If you want to meet Jason Haas, have any of you met Jason Haas? If you met him, you know he's a fantastic person. Same with Sherry DeBenedetti. A lot of great paranormal names are going to be coming out to the Eau Claire Midwest Metaparacon April 11th through the 13th. And this is really exciting because you're going to have like Aaron Sagers there. Like I said, Jason Haas is going to be there. Someone who I really like, Heidi Hollis, that we've been trying to get on the program. She's going to be there, and a whole host of other people. And you go to metaparapro.com, you'll find Midwest Paracon, Midwest Metaparacon there. And what's exciting about this is Ghostbox Radio is the official podcast for this convention. This Eau Claire Midwest Metaparacon, April 11th through 13th. And if you sign up through the website, and I'll put that into the comments, and I'll put it up on screen here in a second. But if you sign up for the convention and put in the code GHOSTBOX, GHOSTBOX, you'll get 10% off the entry fee to the convention. So please do so, because I'd love to have Midwest Metaparacon know that our listeners are interested in these events and want to go, and that they're happy to support not only them, but us as well. Would really appreciate that there. And let me quickly copy and paste this so I can put it into the comments here, and we'll put it up on Facebook and everything else. But if you sign up, you will be able to get 10% off using the GhostBox code. So that's pretty exciting. Don't mind me saying so. So, and what I'm going to be doing out there, I think I'll just be out there all weekend interviewing people and talking. We'll probably do live streams and stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I love Eau Claire. I haven't been out there in probably about 4 or 5 years, but Eau Claire is just beautiful. It's one of my favorite places, actually.
It is my favorite spot in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Out of the entire state, don't get me wrong, the Dells are really cool. I absolutely dig the water parks, but Eau Claire is such a cool burg. I dig it.
Very much so. And in Eau Claire, there's also the Mabel Tainter Theater, which is ridiculously haunted and also ridiculously beautiful. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those things that I absolutely love. So this is a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm just really excited. So as you can see, folks, a lot of great things going on, and we really hope they invite us to it. We were so sick this week, though, and it includes really everybody. We had to postpone 2 meetings for 2 potential places to do events this year. So we're still going to talk to these places. I can't say where they are, but neither of them have held a paranormal event, and they're both in the Twin Cities. And if we can get both of these, you're gonna be able to go on a paranormal investigation in places that no one else investigated. Though the people who work at these places are like, yeah, it's haunted. So I mean, we have some really fun things planned. We're really kind of working it behind the scenes right now. So there's a lot of great things going on. I'm really excited, obviously.
And obviously, we've got the special coming up on the 20th, but also the Paracon in Wisconsin. Feel free to check that out. If you haven't been to a Paracon, they are a blast. Not only do you get to meet a lot of, some of the paranormal folks that you may like their styles, it's a good chance to actually go and pick their brain too about how they do it. If you like something that they do a certain way or a piece of equipment, great way to go out there and of course use GhostBox and get 10% off to get your knowledge.
Absolutely. So, question of the week. This is what we're looking at here. What psychic gift do you wish you could hone and focus on? And that doesn't mean that you don't already have it or whatever else. And let's the full disclaimer here. I believe everybody has all sorts of gifts. We just have to unlock them, and that's easier said than done. Adam, you said that you had picked one. What's yours?
I would love to be able to read auras. I think that would be fantastic, because then it's almost kind of like you're not going to get taken off guard by what somebody's about to tell you because you can read their aura, kind of like mind reading, but I don't want to get too deep into anyone's mind because I really don't want to know what they think about me. But to read an aura, I think that would be a skill that I would love to hone in on.
Well, it's an interesting thing too, because I do think that there's plenty of energy is something that just kind of pushes out from people, right? And you can say that's an aura. I guess I never really thought about it, because there's times I'm sure you could see someone walk in the room and you could tell without them even without the body language or how their face looks or whatever, that maybe they're not happy about something. That you could just suddenly everything shifts in the room.
There are some people where it's so strong or you have such a close connection to them, you can look at a still photograph of them and know if they're going to be mad when you see them.
Absolutely.
Happy. So that's kind of why I like to be able to do it more to people that I'm not, really close with. I want to be able to read a room of auras, if you will.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Bridget in the comments here says the ability to see spirit. I think you already do, quite frankly. And why I say that is because I think that there's a lot of ways you could see spirit without seeing spirit. And I feel like that I wouldn't discount gifts from spirits, even if you can't see them, like little things left behind or whatever. I wouldn't discount that as seeing them personally. It's a kind of a different take, but that's my thought on it, because they're still making themselves known. So, to me, any sort of interaction, I think I could loosely label as seeing them in a sense, because they're there. Once again, I just want to quickly say, feel free to call in 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. We'll see if Brett had connected the phone up after doing all the fixing in the control room. We'll see how that goes. Let's see here if people who had posted on my page, because we put this question out earlier. And let's see here. Give me one quick second. Cheryl says, I remote view. Okay. It's not so much what would you hone it for? She's like, this is what I do. I don't need to hone anything. Okay, that's cool. No problem. Let's see. So just following up, Bridget says, it's an opaque blur. I get few seconds every so often, but I do hear and feel them. If you want to see them, I would say that you're already starting to get there. The thing is, and this, Bridget, everyone knows this, is that you got to work at it. and you gotta ask for it. You gotta set your intention for it. So the more, you just have to just keep going on that. And also, as we say all the time, there's a lot of people out there who can help you with that as well. There's, Refined Divine Deb, there is Shar, there's all sorts of great people who can help with that as well. Let's see, Debbie is here and she says, hi, Adam and Greg. It should be more like hi, Greg and Adam. Let's just be serious here for a second. Glad to see you. She's to decide who she likes better. Let's just face it, okay? The segment one was such a high, and now it's really crumbling around. Yeah, now it's crumbling around me. Hi, Adam and Greg. Glad to see you back on. Hello, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Leah Marie says, I would like to hear them, not just know things. And that'd be interesting, right? And I don't know what that's like. When I say that, it's like, I suppose there is a difference, and I've not really given a ton of thought. So that's very interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to take a sip of water if you want to add anything there.
I agree with that one too, because there are times where you just have a feeling where something is about to happen, but you don't know what. So being able to hear them tell you, hey, this messed up thing is about to happen would be golden. So you're not just spending the day guessing.
Right. Bridget says that about seeing spirits. She says, I'll get there, but it's taking a back seat for a moment. I'm still dealing with the last bit of closure from all last week. No, here's the thing. There's no hurry. And here's the other thing, everyone, you should all know, if you don't know it already. We're not in charge of when those breakthroughs happen anyway. So we could be working our tushes off to get there, and that's not a bad thing to do. Just, you just never know when that breakthrough actually will happen. So it can happen whenever it wants to happen, or whenever spirit wants to help you, or whatever else. These are really good answers. And that's the thing too. And I sometimes wonder, Adam, if you want it so badly that actually in some ways is a bit of a deterrent from making it happen at the time, because it never happens when you want it to. If you're trying too hard, can that be a deterrent? Because you're putting that in front of the actual learning sometimes, because some people want it so much. It's an interesting thought, I think, at least.
It is, because then, it's like, how many people end up just giving up on trying to unlock their gifts because, they may want it too quickly. And I'm not saying Bridget as an example, but just overall, I mean, how many people have thought, I want to be able to do X, Y, or Z, and not even in the paranormal field.
Totally.
But it's just not coming to them as quickly as they would like, and they give up.
Absolutely. So, it's very much there. One last thing from Bridget here. She says, Jim, her husband who passed, scared the what out of me early last week. Full apparition for 5 solid seconds. You said you wanted to see spirit. There you go. I'm sorry, but that's you said you want to do it. There you go. You got it. And there's a thing about paranormal, and this isn't about you, Bridget. Please don't take it personally. The thing about paranormal, you ask for it, you better be prepared to get it. Okay, be careful for what you get, for what you wish for, because you just might get it. And I don't mean that to be rude to anybody, but that's just it. I get so many people when you watch these shows. You watch these shows where they're like, oh, I want to go out and see spirit. I want to go out and ghost hunt, all that stuff. And then they see a spirit, they see a ghost, they see something they can't explain, and they run out of there screaming. It's like, this is what you wanted. If you don't want it, don't do it. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's just, that's the funny thing about it. And, so, and I say that about my alien encounters. I've done talks just on that subject of careful for what you wish for. I did the alien stuff. I wanted to do these CE5 experiments, and then lo and behold, something happened that seems to be in line with all that. you could be scared, and it was a scary situation, but I created that. I asked for it. I meditated for it. I did the work to bring them there. So them showing up shouldn't be a surprise. That shouldn't be like, oh, well, geez, what are you doing here? No, it's like, this is what I wanted. I wanted you here. Did it scare me? Absolutely. And it does make me think twice about doing it, again, even though I'm scheduled to do it publicly a couple times this year. So it's, that's the thing. And that's, you always have to be careful of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, careful, Adam. That's all I'm going to say to you. Just be careful, right?
That's when you were telling me about before you went out for your CE5, telling me about it. I was like, sounds like fun. Have a blast. I'm personally not ready for that.
No, and I think that there's a lot of people who aren't, and I may have been one of them, to be perfectly honest. Because here's the thing about that, and not that we are trying to. Not that we're trying to say change the subject here, because there's more answers for question of the week, but I do feel I am marked now, that I am on their radar. And it goes back to seeing that shadow of one in the forest when Char and I went out squatching. And it's just like, and you could feel them around. It changes everything. For there isn't going to be a person who had a alien encounter and be like, well, I saw that and I'm done with that now. No more, nothing more to do with that. It's, and that'll be the interesting thing to ask Travis is, kind of the same thing. Do you feel like they're still with you? And those are going to be really important questions. Debbie says, let's see here. She says, I went through those experiences. The wavelengths are intense, rapid speed for sure. Totally. It's a different level. In my mind, and I think I'd love to know all your opinions in there, because I know a number of you have had similar sort of things. There's almost a hierarchy, I feel like, to all this. And even above spirit is aliens. It's like to me, it's like aliens, and then like spirit and what we call forest friends, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call them, that they're on the same level. But aliens just something a little bit, not even a little bit, quite a bit different, quite a bit higher, and quite a bit more to me unknown than anything else. I'd love your opinions on all that. Adam, do you have an opinion on that?
I like where you're going with that, where that goes alien, spirit. Honestly, though, I really think there's got to be something in between alien and spirit in the hierarchy. I think there is something else there.
It'd be interesting to know. And
those are like the cloak people that you tend to see, the ones that I feel like kind of like go in between dimensions, if you will.
Yeah, sure.
Like my daughter and I, and we'll bring this up on another episode, but my daughter and I, we had a long conversation about the cloaked figures because we've both seen them and we both have our theories on them. But I think they're somewhere in between alien, I think the cloaked figures and spirit, or maybe the other way around, alien, spirit, cloaked figures. There is something else there. At least
could very well be. Could very well be. I mean, that's just it. If someone were to tell you, Adam, no, I don't think so, then I'd stop like talking with them, because I mean, there is no absolutes. We don't know everything.
No,
we really don't.
People who are the ones who are skeptic are the first ones to turn around and be like, I did have this one weird thing happen to me once.
Yeah.
Those are the ones. Those are the ones that it's like, okay, now let's sit down and talk about this.
Well, and the ones who are like that, their one-time experience that they're still skeptical, but their one-time experience is an experience that most of us would kill for. It's just like, well, I did see my house levitate and go around the block and then landed back in its foundation. But, I don't know. I don't know if I believe or not.
Yeah. Or, I was at a museum in Teddy Roosevelt where I could have swore it was the guy dressed as Teddy Roosevelt talking to me.
Right. Exactly. Let's see here. Lee Marie says, what if aliens are spirits? I think that's a great question. Let's talk about that. Let's get a break in here first. Let's talk about that and get to the rest of the question of the weeks. not even weeks. Because this is a lot of fun. Love the interaction. Let's keep this going. It's Casual Friday here. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with metamorphosisconnections.com. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search metamorphosisconnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
It is Casual Friday as we're in our last segment for this week, and hope everyone has great plans for the weekend. Join us Monday on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. Based on my last week's question, like what are topics that you think should be talked about more? Someone asked about why do people of faith don't believe in the paranormal. So I'm going to be bringing on Monday Father Bob Bailey, and we're going to be talking about, he's a demonologist. He does all sorts of paranormal work, but we're going to be talking about that very subject, especially, I think, from a Roman Catholic standpoint, which is what I am as well. And I've had a number of situations here in Minnesota trying to get not even paranormal related, but churches. Like I wanted to get in and just see some of the architecture and stuff, and they wouldn't let me into certain things because they did the research on me and saw that I was a paranormal investigator, and they thought that I was just going to come in and mess everything up. So we're going to be talking about that Monday. Tuesday is Mardi Gras, and I'm really excited. We're having a conversation with Bloody Mary out in New Orleans. She is going to be talking about Mardi Gras. We're going to be talking about spirits. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things. You may have seen Bloody Mary on a number of TV shows, including Ghost Adventures. I've had her on the program before. She is awesome, and it's a lot of fun. So that'll be Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to have one question readings with Refined Divine. Thursday, we're going to do a replay of Scott Porter, Secrets of the Asylum. And then, of course, we'll be doing this very same thing again next Friday, Casual Friday. Lots of great stuff coming up. So please tune in. And if you miss any GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun, it's on Spotify or anywhere else that you can get a podcast. Don't forget, A Million Podcasts has just named GhostBox Radio as number 34 out of 100 best ghost hunting podcasts. So that's to me, it's quite an honor. Very grateful for that. So yeah, that's kind of the deal, Adam. And then we got March 20th with Travis Walton coming on along with Jennifer Stein. So I mean, we got a lot of great stuff. And Debbie Romero, who's in the audience tonight, she is going to be on March 17th. We got to figure out what we're going to be talking about. But my goodness, March is going to be quite the month.
You guys are getting a heck of a deal for the 34th ranked podcast when it comes to the paranormal. So let's get those numbers up, people. Come on, you can do it.
I like it. You're competitive, and I'm just like, yeah, 34. That's better than
like I said,
not on there at all. So
when that number sinks in tonight, while I'm crashing here at the haunted station, that's going to be a blast.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Before we went off to break, Lee Marie says, let me see if I can find her. She's just, and she's not saying this as a question. I know that she knows because I know her, but she's just like, what if, well, where is it? So many wonderful people are responding that I just can't find. What if aliens are spirits? And, that's one of my favorite questions these days is going to locations and stuff. Excuse me. What are we confusing? Because we might be confusing stuff here a little bit. We're getting like responses, and we're taking them as spirit. But what if they aren't spirit? What if they are alien? And I think that there is a case that is very possible, especially when there's like known activity in a location. You just this was the eye opener for me, and I've said this many times. Is when I saw Bigfoot in West Point, Kentucky, that suddenly realized it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all energy. It's your intention. That's what it's all about. So if your intention is I want to see aliens, you could very well see aliens. I mean, once again, careful for what you wish for, but that's just it. It's before I was like, oh well, got to focus on spirit because that's what we're doing here. We're looking at spirit. We're trying to get spirit. And at that point, it's like Bigfoot. Well, that's a creature running around. So, we'll see that in the forest. No, it's all aliens. Or, sorry, it's all energy. All energy. I'm alien. Something like that. So there's just a lot of unique and concepts. And I think once we get rid of that paradigm, and I know a lot of you in the comments, especially, this. I'm not trying to preach it to you all. You all know this. A lot of folks out there know this as well. But it makes it all like, to me, it made it all very tangible because suddenly, to me, as someone who uses energy to bring forth other entities, suddenly it's like I can do anything, and that's literally how I felt, and I literally have.
So my question is then, within the para community, why don't we just stop removing the labels of alien, spirit, cryptid, and just treat them all as an energy, and maybe we can actually get to some answers?
Not a bad idea. I mean, first of all, that is what paranormal is, and the TV shows and us, I guess, to a certain degree, we call paranormal. We tend to speak like that's spirits and ghosts, but paranormal is anything that is what we're not classifying as normal. So right then and there, yeah, it's all energy. It's all we don't want to do it, but I think that's the problem, and that's the thing that I think is really scary to some people. That there's so many people out there who, like the authors of cryptid books and stuff like that, not all of them want to think of it that way. They want to think of it as, animals in a forest, and snakes that are called chupacabras and stuff like that. I think that's the thing. But I do think once we start thinking about it just as energy, as we think of energy, everything is energy, that changes everything.
Yeah, it just goes back to the scientific look at it as all matter is energy. That would essentially be the same way of looking into the paranormal, at least in my view. But I also think maybe it's more of also the human super ego, if you will, of having to have everything labeled, like thinking an alien is going to have a head, 2 arms, 2 legs. That's almost egotistical on our end to think that, that's what they look like. Maybe that's what they project themselves to look like to us because they know what we have envisioned as an alien. But I don't know. To me, I think there's too much of the human ego that plays within these quote unquote classifications, that if we got rid of the classifications, we'd have a lot more answers than questions.
Well, and I think that's where I think science fails us in this regard, because I think the whole idea of science, people look at science as this is logic based, and this is stuff that it's that it's all logic, and the reality is, I think that science should be always about uh, questions and learning more. I mean, if we didn't, we would have no advancements whatsoever. So to be able to close off and speak with authority about alien life in the universe, or speak with authority on a lot of different things, if we listen to that authority 200, 300 years ago, we'd be nowhere. And that's the whole point of science, is that we're constantly revisiting and revising what we know, because we keep learning. And it's kind of odd, because it's the same thing that we talked about earlier with the paranormal stuff, that we is like, people who speak in absolutes in this area, I tend to kind of cut off in my mind, because we don't know everything. And scientists should, you know, even on stuff that they're 100% sure of, they should always be open to more interpretations and relearning, and be like, we don't know everything. We know enough, but things change all the time. And I think that's where they really throw the whole, the calling paranormal pseudoscience. It is, I think, to me, it's a misnomer. It's too bad.
It really is, and you're 100% right on that.
So, and you probably have somebody with some kind of science background just like cringing with everything
I'm
we're
sure.
talking
I'm
about,
sure.
but that's okay. I mean, that's what this is all about. And I have no problem with people having different opinions on that, and disagreeing with us, and not believing even, and they're still listening. And that's just how it is. And I think that somebody has to be able to be okay with that, and that's us. And it's, as the way I see it, it's us. I'm not going to fall on the sword for some spirit box response. If someone doesn't want to listen and believe or whatever else, it's not worth it. I know what I know, and that's all that matters. I guess, which sounds really open and friendly. Let's see here. Whatever, right? Let's see. We got a few more, and we're getting towards the end already. It doesn't take long. What psychic gift do you wish you could hone and focus on? Let's see here. Russ says telepathy, which is, I would agree. Let's see. Bonnie says UAP, psionics, remote viewing, squatching. Hey, it's all possible. It's all possible. And that stuff is easy enough to do, relatively. Let's put it that way. And says seeing and feeling information to help find things, even some ability to predict, to keep individuals around me safe. But I would especially love to communicate with animals to help and understand them. That's interesting. Uh, because I've always had this feeling, and I could be wrong here. What time are we at? Okay, we have a little bit of time. A- the ability to protect, to keep individuals around me safe. I've always felt that mediums tend to not be able to, like, their knowledge, it can only go to a certain extent of what's going to happen. And that's because I think the experience of life, right, that everybody has to have. Mediums can look at people that they don't necessarily know, or maybe have some know, they know them a certain level, and be able to read and give them the information. But I think the closer you are, the harder it is to actually read. And I had somebody who I dated, a psychic medium, and her aunt was really, really quite exceptional psychic medium. And she got ill, and she had asked this person, my ex, to read her and see if she's going to be okay. And she read her, and she said, yes, you're going to be fine. It's going to take a while, but you're going to be fine. And then like literally a day later, she dies. And my belief is that this my ex was not a bad psychic medium. I think there's a limit to what you can read. So, in my opinion, and it doesn't mean I'm right, that it's going to be harder to be able to do that thing where you're looking out for people around you to keep them safe, because people need to experience life. They need to experience that. And Courtney says, but she probably is fine in heaven. Could be. But nevertheless, my point still stands, because this person who I was dating felt horrible about that. Felt absolutely horrible. Felt like that she failed her, and she didn't. She did the best she could, but that information is closed off. You just can't do it. So when people are like, if a psychic trips in the street and someone's like, well, you should have seen that coming, that stuff is closed off. There's just there's limits. That's why psychic mediums aren't billionaires, because they, playing the lottery or anything. There's just certain things they can't do. And that's just how it is. That's my opinion. Lee Marie says that she believes that too. I'd be interested to know what some of you all think as well. And Courtney says some people can tell how much life you do have left to live. Yeah, I'm not a big believer in that either, to be perfectly honest. Can't read death. It's not cut and dry like that, Deb says. And I agree with that, Deb, personally. And I think it's one of the worst questions you can ask a medium. When am I going to die? I've heard it before. I think it's a horrible question. Experience life. Live it. Don't worry about that countdown. Just live your life. Yeah, Courtney, I'm just going to disagree with that one. That's okay. So with that being said, we're running out of time, and this is great. Once again, Adam, good to see that you're on the mend.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
I'm still alive.
Yeah,
right. Let's wrap it up for this week. Really appreciate everyone listening. Don't forget, we have a big week next week, and we're going to have Father Bob Bailey. He's going to be joining us Monday. Everyone, have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday, and try to avoid getting strep. That's all I'm going to say. Everyone, have a fantastic weekend.
Hey, Minnesota, it's your favorite sexy liberal. Join me and my fellow cohorts in